Okay, so the first thing, yes? Let me finish my sentence. The first thing I want to make sure that you understand is the trick of how to connect recycles for your project where you can't expect that you connect the recycle and you convert. So just to make sure, I want to go back, so I went back to before your successful end of this part on Friday. So what I did is I just cut off the recycle stream and I put here, let me put here at the beginning, molar flow 0, and let me put the composition at the beginning. These are the compositions at the beginning. Okay? So the trick is, you want to make changes, small changes from a converged state. The reason is, we are solving systems of nonlinear algebraic equations. If we have good initial guesses, guaranteed convergence. If we don't have good initial guesses, good luck. The more the variables, the more the luck you need. So, can you do something to have good initial guesses? Yes, that's the trick. Remember, right now I have flow rate 0 coming here. If I were to hook it directly, the flow rate right now is, if you call it over, you see the flow rate is 3.6. You change from 0 to 3.6. Also, the compositions are different. So, it may work, it may not. This is because a very simple system will work. But normally, situations like that, it won't work if you directly connect. So here's the trick to do. To create a fictitious string, and actually you want to put it, let me also read it with the side. So I will take it to become a cycle, and I will take a t. Okay? And I will call this, okay, I'll call this trick t. Assuming I can type. Boy. Part of the reason I laugh in me. Well, trick t. And right now, I'll come back and, okay, let me put the inlet is to become R. And there'll be two outlets. One is, that's the first one. Let's see which way would be the easier. Okay, I'll tell you what, before I do anything else, let's make the graphics a bit nicer. I want to turn it around. So how do you turn it around? First, left click to select it, and then right click. And if you go down here, you'll find transform. And you have options, rotating by 90 degrees, or mirror about X, mirror about Y. I'll use mirror about Y to turn it face it this way. So, the one that will become recycled I have at the bottom, the top one will be eventually 0. So put the two strings out of the T. Okay. I'll tell you what, load what you did with a different name. Okay? If you want to do this with me, it's not a bad idea. Load what you saved last time, delete the recycle, and just delete the recycle.
And the triangle one?
Yes, delete the triangle. And then, and then you still have, is it still to become recycle the names? Oh, have to change. Okay. Okay, so it looks like that for you now, except for the T.
Yeah, I haven't had it.
So add the T after to become R, and if you want to look pretty, flip it on the y-axis. Yes, ma'am.
Once I deleted the art, I went into the recycle.
Oh, press recycle.
No, I mean recycle composition and mine is not 33.
Yeah, that's fine. You have a different. That's fine.
Okay.
I just want to do the principle.
All right.
I'll tell you what. Actually, go and change the flow rate to 0
Of the
of the
recycle.
recycle. Don't bother with composition. Just make the flow rate 0, and then you get 3.6 coming up. Okay, so right now, you should, if you do what I did, you should see 3.6 coming. About 3%. Okay, let me give you some time to catch up with this. The recycle still. As we had at the beginning. At the beginning we had 0, right?
You show what the inlet is.
You mean in 3-3?
Yeah.
The inlet is still to become out. And then I will put as out, I want the top stream coming out, I will name that eventually 0. And the other one, and right now it's green because I have only one stream out, but I'll add the second stream out. This time, I mean it.
I think you renamed
This
it.
time it will become up.
I think you renamed it.
Oh, escape. You have to be careful. Okay. Okay, really up. Okay, I'll rename this really up. Okay? So, what I want to connect is the really up. But, right now the cycle has 0. I want to connect it, making a small change from what I have now. So the steady state I have with recycle 0 is a good initial get. So how I do it? Well, I have 3.6 coming in. Let me exit this one moment. Coming in, I have 3.6 molar flow rate. So if I specify that molar flow rate, and I'll specify that one because I want to specify ultimately 0, it's 3.59. Then to become the really high becomes 0.01. Really small. So I'm making small change in the system. Do you understand the logic? So when I make the connection, I'll make the connection changing the flow rate from 0 to 0.01, not from 0 to 3.6. Much smaller change. This clear? Alright. So let's click back here. And I will not specify any split ratios. I will go to worksheet. And in worksheet, I say it's 3.6. I'll make the eventually 0, 3.6 minus epsilon. So 3.59599, something like that. 3.59. Okay? And you see automatically the really R is now 10 to the minus 2. Yes, back then.
Change something else because for the flow rate to become higher at 6.666.
But that was because of the recycle. Did you change the recycle to 0? Change the recycle to 0 and you have the 3.6. Yeah, change the flow rate. Don't bother with the composition. Change the recycle to 0, what we had at the beginning. Anybody else? Alright. So now I'm going to put the back.
What did you change the molar flow rate to? G?
3.59.
3.5.
The eventually 0 I changed it to 3.59. Yeah. I wish I could make this bigger, but there's no way to make the letters bigger. I can make the pictures bigger, but not the letters. If anybody ever discovers a way to make the letters in unison bigger, I will give a 3-point homework bonus.
Can you try Control Plus?
Try it and tell me if it works. Control plus doesn't work with the letters. I mean, I can do it right
Figured
now.
out which letters though. Like,
Command?
Those letters. The ones that you need to be able to see.
Well, you ever see the
Did you try Googling it?
Anyway, work it on your own. If you have found out something, come and I'll give you the bomb. Alright, let's continue. So I'll put the atom now, and I'll put it on the between really hard and side. Okay? So recycle, and I want to switch it, but let's first do the connections. So inlet is the really hard, and outlet is the recycle. And actually, I don't need to switch. Okay. And so now it's converged, but it's converged throwing away 3.59 out of the now change from 360 to 3.6575. Small change because I only recycle a tiny amount. So at this point, what do? Save. Okay? So file, save. Okay, is it saving? Check it and save it. Save under two or three different names, maybe. Yeah. You got a strange Kim, I'm sorry, Ken. Ken, right? Some reason I'm going to now we can throw a helmet. It's already saved. I can go back to this condition. So why not try the light to see if it will convert without the thing? So the helmet is what? Go back here and change the eventually 0 to the indeed 0. Okay? So don't do it yet. Okay? In this case, I know it will work. But if it hasn't worked, let's go back to 3.59. What we would do next is I would go slowly. I would go next, let's say 3.5. Good, it worked. Good. And Philadelphia might try 3. Maybe try 2. And go slowly. And because you make small changes every time you have good initial guesses, so you'll converge a bit. Okay? So in your project, you first take, the hardest thing will be for you to converge distillation columns. Because you have azeotropic distillations, and it will be done. Okay? So what you will do is, you first converge them without being in the recycle. And then you put the recycle with the string. Okay? I can guarantee you for your project, if you try without the tray to put the recycle distillation column, it won't work. If it does, find a lot of people in the same. Okay, so everybody understands the trick? Okay? Now, there will be another complication for your project, but I'll discuss it when I do the vinyl chloride example. Okay? So I will not discuss it now. Alright. So, we converse this, but this is with wasting time. And if you look at your homework assignment, the main problem is case study of how the flow rate of the recycle stream changes as the waste stream varies from 6 to 13 kilogram moles per hour. For every assignment, you should provide for the What is the case study? Unisim and HYSYS. And again, I'm saying anhysis because internally, Unisim and HYSYS are practically identical. So you have case studies exactly the same way in HYSYS. Allows you, in any simulation, a single variable that you specify to automatically change going up or down from beginning value to final value with certain step size. And you can have linear scale, you can have logarithmic scale. Okay? So, what we want to do is, right now we have waste 10. Obviously, the more we waste, the smaller the recycle stream is going to be, and the smaller the pumping cost, etc. But if we don't waste enough, what happens? We have accumulation in the system, and eventually we choke the system. As a matter of fact, if we don't waste some, there's a certain minimum amount we have to waste, you will never reach a steady state. Okay, so you need to have certain range of waste. So I want you to see the effect of the waste stream on the size of the recycle stream. Okay? Oh, one other thing that we did last time, after one thing in this case study, it made it tough to get convergence. Remember, one of the last things that we did is go to the recycle and go to parameters, and you have here under variables the sensitivities, and I tightened them to 0.1 last time.
Yeah.
Let's make the flow sensitivity 1. Tighten it a little bit, but not too much. For the case study, I don't want to be too tightened because it gets, when you waste very little, the recycle gets huge. Okay, and there's a certain point where it explodes. So, okay, how to do this case? That's called a case study. So let's learn how to do a case study. So we go to tools. And under tools you find data book. Okay, tools menu, data book. Click data book. Tag variables. Here we're going to define the variables that are going to be involved in the case study. What it will change is something that you have defined, something that is in blue. So we define the flow rate of the waste stream. So we definitely want that variable. And we want to say the flow rate of the recycle stream, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So click insert, and you go first to the stream that we have, and the stream is the W stream we want. So let's see what's up. Here it is. And what do we want from that W stream? We want the flow rate, the molar flow rate. So we want it alphabetically, molar flow. And click, not OK. It's OK, if you click OK, you have to do it again. Click Add. You stay in the menu after you have added. Right now, if I move this, you'll see W molar flow. Please select. What else do I want to see? I want the recycle molar flow. So let's go to recycle. Molar flow. And click it. And at this point, I have both that I need. I don't think I need anything else. You want to see anything else? Okay, how about if we just see also the waste stream, the molar flow of reactant of let's pick one reactant and see how much of that we are throwing away. So let's calculate how much ethylene we're throwing away. So we can go back and add another one. Okay, so let's go ahead and recycle. No, waste. And we want component molar flow. So I'll specify here component molar flow. And ethylene. And click Add. And now click Close. So we have those three variables. Okay, everyone? Anybody? It's more time. Okay. So now, go over to case studies. The first thing you always need to do is click Add. So we can give it a name. We can say effect W. And okay, there is a little bug. You see here the three variables listed, and you can see now independent, dependent is checked, you can check which variable changes. But the only one you can really select, because you chose it, is W molar flow. That's the only one you can check. Normally, it should have the other ones that you cannot select grayed out. In this case, a little bug shows it's possible to be selected, but you can't really select either of those two because they're calculated quantities. Don't do what I'm doing because let me first of all, well, there's a small change I may have to reboot if I try to select this, it checks it, but you really can't do it. If I try to run the case study, it will have a problem. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me deselect it. Let me save it. Don't do what I'm doing, okay? Let me save it and run the program. Okay, so I'm saying select molar flow to recycle. So if I go now, next I will go to view, and I'll say, let's say I want to change that from 1 to 5, step size 0.1, and if I try, so that's what you need to do. I should automatically put the rest as dependent. You see, okay, all right, okay. So you can see it doesn't automatically put the rest as dependent. Let's do the one we can really do. Okay. Okay. Let's do it right and then I'll do it wrong. Okay. You can do it, let's do it first. So choose the one that's independent, the others are dependent, or because I have to. So that's the first thing. Then go to view. So do what I'm doing now. Select the one we can change, molar flow, W as independent, the other two as dependent. Yeah.
If it doesn't let you check any of them,
You didn't put the names. You didn't click add.
oh,
Doesn't let you any of them. You didn't click add. First you need to click add. Add here.
okay.
Click add here. Yeah. First you must click add. You can change the name. There's a default name. You can change the name. But you have to have click add. Otherwise it doesn't select you. Let's select anything. Okay. So everybody okay now? Click view. So I'm going to select the independent variable. Show the independent variable. And I want to change from 13 to 6. It's hard to get convergence at 6. Right now I'm converged at 10. What I want to do is go with small step size, so the previous converged state is a good initial guess, and I want to start where it converges easily, so I want to start with 13 and go down to 6 instead of the other way around. Normally, you start with the low bound and you end at the high bound, but you can check step downward. And later on, we'll do a lesson with hysteresis in a reactor, and we'll get different curves which way we're stepping. But now, so let's put low bound 6, high bound 13. I want small step size. Why? Because I want to have small changes from simulation to simulation. So, good chance for conversion. Instead, I want to something small. Let's use 0.05. And I will select downward. Step down. So again, low bound, we want to see what happens between 6 and 13. With step size 0.05, that means we're going to do 141 simulations. That's fine. This is a small system. It goes fast. And check step downward. I think we can go down to 5.5, but let's keep it. And then you say stop. You say running, and you can say it's done. And what do you think we do next? Results. Question?
Mike keeps telling me about the numbers outside of the allowed range, which I put 6 in as the high bound.
6 is low bound.
6 is the low bound, 13 is the high bound, but it's check step downward. All right. So let's look at the results. The first one is a graph. Unfortunately, in Unisim and HYSYS, you don't have a choice Your x-axis is always going to be the variable you're changing, and you can have two different y-axes. You have two variables, each one goes on its own y-axis. But you can only show two independent variables at a time. You can select which two. What if you want to show more? You can export everything easily to Excel and plot in Excel. So here is molar flow rate from 6 to 13. And what happens? When I waste a lot, the recycle is time. Okay? So here you see recycle is the red, and here is how much we waste. So here I have time to recycle, but I'm wasting almost 5 kilograms per hour of ethylene. As I decrease the waste, the recycle stream goes up, and the amount of ethylene goes down. But maybe I should do it with 5.5. Let me go back and do it with 5.5. It isn't quite much of an effect. Okay, for homework it says this, so for homework we'll turn this. Now there are two other things to see. You have 3 choices here. Graph, table, transpose table. Table is useless. That's the table output. Good luck with it. Luckily, what people would call table is what is called transpose table. So I've never had any use of the table output, but the transpose table is what I export to Excel. So transport table, you have a table, and you can easily cut and paste this to Excel. Okay, so you have here W.
You're getting different numbers.
Yeah.
Negative. Oh.
What does he have different than you?
Yeah.
I get advice from you.
Yes.
What did I do? The mention 0 to 0. Called it. That's called it. Yeah, I think I know why. Did I put that at the end 0? No. That's why I was still wasting. My mistake. Let's make it eventually 0 and run it again. I forgot to make the eventually 0 to 0. So now I get your numbers. Oh, you can see now it's not converged. That yellow is not good news. Sometimes continue will fix it. In this case, now it's converged. All right, let me do it again. Okay, so maybe 6 will be going up a lot. That's why. Yeah, I was surprised that I thought 6 was low enough to show what I wanted to show. So let's go back to tools. Data book. Now again what you guys are getting. Okay, case studies. View. Guys say view. And start it again. And now I should get what you guys got.
Yeah.
Let's do the graph. That's it. You see how it starts. The recycle starts increasing a lot. Is that what you got, guys?
Yep.
You can see the recycle went from 1 point something to over 25, but the wasting now has gone to almost 0. And I shouldn't be seeing any negative flows on the table, on the transport table. No negative flows. Okay, this is the transport table. Okay? So when we're wasting 4.5 kilograms per hour of ethylene. When we have 13 waste, when it decreases to 6, our recycle goes up quite high, but we're only wasting 1 kilogram. Clear, everyone? So everybody got this graph? So that's one thing you print. Bun. Then you turn it into bun. What's the second thing you turn into bun? Let's talk about what you're going to be turning in. So that's one thing you'll be turning in for this problem. Three things. One, this plot. Two, and careful to do the right X here. You'll be turning in this diagram. And the third thing, but you need to do it. I need to go back. You also want to go back and reset W to 10. Go back and change W to 10. And with W10, okay, this diagram won't change, but with W10, you need to submit the workbook. The workbook is something that you can make in one screen, show all the variables. And you'll be doing that for your project every week delivered. So, right now, you don't have a menu on the workbook, but you see this picture here. It says workbook. Okay, I think I'm going fast. Let me slow down. Is everybody okay? Everybody got the picture and the graph correctly, right?
No, I still have negative flow.
Did you change the eventually 0 to 0?
The molar flow, yes.
You changed that to 0.
Yeah.
Is the yellow gone?
Yeah, it was green when I was.
And it's green with 0 now?
Yeah. I have the same thing.
And you have a green light?
Yeah. When you look
The eventually 0 should be 0. And you're still not getting right?
I'm getting tired. Can you press start again?
Is there a yellow frame around this right?
I don't think I can press start again.
Oh, you need to run it again, of course.
Yeah, that was
Oh yeah, you need to press start again. You need to run it again. Yes. Thank you.
Where is the start button?
Oh, you go to Tools, Data Book, and make sure that you have that case loaded. View, and under View, Start. You have to say first View, and then you can start. Okay, Sean is okay. Okay, guys, so everybody has that, right? And now you have the picture. All of you have the picture, right? Second thing you do is picture of that. Third thing is the workbook, but I want you to do the workbook for 10. So go here and change the W to 10. So for the workbook, you first click here. So everybody change W to 10. Anybody needs more time? John, are you caught up?
Yeah.
All right. Christine, do you have the name right? What Aladdin is it Christine?
Yeah.
Ruth. Okay. Same have it.
A bunch of my screens are not being specified.
What do you say?
A bunch of the screens that I have are not specified.
Guys, I cannot hear you speak.
So a bunch of the screens that I have are not specified for some reason.
Do you have green light?
Can you get the second slide? Oh, wait.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right. Okay, let's continue. So press workbook. And the default workbook doesn't show any composition. You see every string, and you see temperature, pressure, total molar flow, total mass flow, etc. I want you to change it to add also composition. Now, the moment that you click this, and this appeared, you see up here workbook appearing also. So this doesn't exist at the beginning. Next to tools, you don't have that. If I close it, next to tools is the PFT. But the moment that you press workbook, picture, next to tools appears workbook. Okay, so this workbook appears only after you have pressed this workbook. Okay, press this and then this appears. And on this, we're going to be adding to show all compositions. So click that this workbook, and now you can say setup, and I want to add here. Go down here, variable. Not this add, down here, where it says variables, click add. And what I want to add, let's select mole fraction. So component, mole fraction. Yes, let me do it again.
Which component more fraction?
Start from beginning. All right. Okay, starting from beginning. First, change the W to 10. Has everybody changed W to 10? Okay, now, go, click on the workbook picture. Right now, you don't see workbook above the picture. The moment I click the workbook picture, this will appear. Now, we click this one. And we select the setup. So, everybody can reach this point. Right? Okay, so now, go and put this add. And I'm going to select, for all components, the mole fraction. So go alphabetically until you find component, mole fraction. You can select anything. And instead of, you can select any string, click all. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't get to that last screen from the setup.
So you click add here. And now it appears component mole fraction. And select all. And since there's OK, we click OK, not X. And now look what you have. You can just X out. Now you have for every string also the mole fractions of every component. This will be required for your project every week. And probably I'll want to be saying both mass fractions and mole fractions. You can specify to show both mass fractions and mole fractions. Clear, everyone? So that's what you're also supplying to. That's the third printout. Okay? So PFD is one, workbook is one, and the graph from the case study is the other. Problem 2 is a really quick problem. Let's do it and then we can take a break and we'll have lecture after the meeting. So the second one is just another exercise in a case study. A plot of molar enthalpy of ethylene versus temperature 10 to 100 degrees C using the Penn-Robinson model. What model are we using in the simulation? Penn-Robinson. Do you already have ethylene? Yes. So we don't need to open a new file or anything. We can just do it. We can just do it here. So to make it easy for Banu to break, not to have to look at different places, just create a new string. Let's call that problem 2 with your name. So call this string problem 2, and your name is not Svarana, so don't type that. And I mean, this is not only ethylene, and I want to find the molar enthalpy of ethylene, and I change the temperature, and I didn't specify the pressure. Since I didn't specify the pressure, the obvious assumption is what? That's 1 atmosphere. Let's do it on 1 atmosphere. So, I'm going to be changed from 10 to 100 degrees C. Let's put first temperature 10 degrees C. I'll just put the first temperature. I'll be changed from 10 to 100 in a case study. Okay? Oh, sorry. So, I want pressure 1 atmosphere. And I want to specify the composition. you need to specify the composition even though it's only one component. So click on composition, and for this string, it will be pure S. And does it matter what I select, if it's mole fraction or mass fraction? If it's 1, it doesn't. So you can give it mole fraction 1 and press OK. So let me do it once again. What you do is, you click, you make the string, you put 10 for temperature at the beginning for the case study, you put 1 atmosphere for pressure, and then you click composition. And in composition, you type 1 for ethylene, and you'll see a pop-up, and you can leave the rest blank. Blank is the same as zero. And in this case, if there's an OK, we click OK. If there wasn't an OK, we would have clicked that X. So basically, the rule is very simple. If you can see an OK, that's what you click. If there's nothing like that, you click the X. One, you have a question?
Oh no.
Okay. So, OK, I'll click OK. And unknown flow rate. Do I need to define a flow rate? No. If you look, if we click back again here, you know that the molar energy is already calculated. Gibbs rule, Gibbs phase rule, right? We have completely specified the degrees of freedom. All intensive variable, pure component, right? How many degrees of freedom do we have for a pure component, one phase?
2.
2. Temperature and pressure are specified. That means all intensive variables are specified. So it fills everything that can fill. And you can see here both molar entropy and molar enthalpy. But also, if you go under properties and you have selected what I had before to have them activated, you'll see all sorts of calculations. It's specific heat is calculated. Okay, a lot of things have been calculated. Or anything that doesn't require extensive variables is already calculated. So, all we're going to do here is do another case study, and that will be the end of the homework. Everybody okay here? Yes, question.
How do you make it active? Yeah.
Okay, to make it active, you go to Tools, Preferences, under Simulation, and you click the Activate. Right here.
Do that again.
Do it again. Tools, Preferences, and then Simulation. Activate. If I want to set the significant figures, you go to Variables. Okay? For some things I go to Simulation, for some things you go to Variables. I have to admit, I've never used anything else. Alright. So, let's make a case study. So, Tools, Data Book again. We don't want this case study, so we're going to add another case study. So, click Add. And let's call that Problem 2. And, oh, I forgot to add variables. I need to add variables. It's okay what we did, but I need to go back and add variables. So, click Variables. The first thing you should be doing is variables. We already have the variables we used before. We need to use new variables. We need 2 new variables. One is the temperature of that ethylene string. And the other one is going to be what? The molar enthalpy. Right? So, click Insert. And now I'm going to go to the Problem 2 string. So, should I slow down? Let's slow down. So, click Variables. Is everybody with me on variables?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, click Insert. And we're going to be inserting with the string that is called Problem 2, with your name. And the first one we're going to change is temperature. So go to temperature, alphabetically, In some cases, you won't find temperature, you'll find vessel temperature. Just be aware. Unisievert crisis can be created on the name. And click Add. And you'll see here, added automatically. Without the bits. Okay? This object, the temperature. And also we want the molar enthalpy. So go alphabetically to molar. Molar enthalpy is here, and click Add. So now we should see that the new variables we need, and close. And now let's go back to case study. So we already have our new case study. You can see now that they appeared. And molar enthalpy is calculated. What I was saying is here's an error. Okay, you see here, it indicates like you can select it, but must be modifiable. Sometimes you get that warning, sometimes you don't. It's a little bit funny here, but just know that you can only change things that you specify. So I specify the temperature, I can change that. And I'm interested in saying only the molar enthalpy, and I'll leave everything else unchanged. Okay? So, anybody needs to catch up. Alright? So, what do I do next? View. Very good. And I'm going to put the low bound 10. That's where I'm converted right now. Upper bound, I believe I said 100. Yes. And I don't know. Let's put 5 degrees. No reason to put a relevance for that. It's going to be basically linear, guys. What should be the slope? Okay, I have the molar enthalpy, but okay. So what should be the slope of a CP against T? Sorry, of enthalpy against temperature. What should be the slope of enthalpy against temperature?
CP.
CP. And CP is at weak temperature dependence. So you should see something close to a straight line. Let's do it. Start. Results. No surprises. Almost linear dependence of molar enthalpy with temperature. Okay? Alright, that completes homework number 1. Okay? So let's take a break and we'll continue until about 6. 5-minute break only. It's 6:06. I will start at 6:11 and I'll finish at 6:55.